Okay, Dune. So I saw Dune, and I am not a Dune fanatic. I've read the first book a couple years ago. I honestly read it just because Will and Felix kept talking about it, and I wanted to make sense of what their jabberings were. And the prose is really off-puttingly terrible, but the world building was top-notch and very interesting. But I never read any of the rest of it. And I've seen the Lynch version, so it's like I'm aware of Dune. I've got Dune context, but I'm not a Dune head. So I go in to watch the movie, and it's the one thing that's kind of annoying is I really wish I could have brainwiped my understanding, my cultural concept of Dune before I watched it. And just go in without knowing what Dune was at all. Because my suspicion is that it doesn't hold together as a movie if you don't have any context. Maybe that's wrong, but there just seems so much in it that is gesturing towards things that they're allowing your context from your extra textual context to do the work for. It's a part of my general issue is that it just doesn't feel like a movie. And I feel like it's another piece of evidence that the film as a genre is kind of going away, and how we're creating this new hybrid entertainment form, the new streaming concept that is not TV, but it's not movies either. And this feels like another movement in that direction, towards movies that aren't really movies. And it also definitely shows the anxiety of influence, and how the fact that it's not the first theatrical Dune really hamstrings it in some parts, because I'm sorry, I refuse to believe that the choice to make the Harkonnens, and specifically Baron Harkonnen, very low energy and understated is not just dictated by the fact that the Baron in Lynch's Dune is over the top and theatrical. Like, they had to go small because that one had gone big. But that's the wrong choice. Fuck that other movie. That character and I would argue the movie itself demands some sort of splashes of color. And there are a few like really striking images in it, like the Sardaukar planet, where they got a bunch of people getting bled out for ritual ceremony, and there's a dude doing Mongolian throat singing, and it's like, goddamn. There's a few moments like that, but for the most part, there's a refusal to build within a scene a narrative, and then of course there's a failure to build a full narrative out of the story itself. So I'm still waiting for a hero. I'm holding out for a hero in the film world, someone who's going to make a movie. Somebody who's going to make an actual film that is a film and not a collection of images that are connected to essentially a marketing strategy for a broader intellectual property portfolio. And that, to me, I'm holding out for a hero. Who is that hero? You know who it is. It's the King, James Cameron. He is the real Kwitzhak Haderach. He is the real Muad'Dib. Fucking James Cameron. James motherfucking Cameron. Now you're saying, oh, he's going to make 5 more Avatar movies. True, but the first Avatar is a complete story. Now, if he does it again, if he does it Avatar 2 and it's like a cliffhanger, that will be disappointing. But I have faith that he is enough of a story smith to not cheap out, to not undermine what he's trying to do by failing to deliver that satisfying narrative conclusion that is what makes a fucking movie a movie. We'll see. Okay. Can we talk about Dune for a second here? I understand why people wanted to love that movie. I understand how they're deeply motivated to have something big and spectacularly that doesn't feel like the rest of that crap.
that feels like there's nutrients. But I gotta tell you, that movie, the Villeneuve Dune, resembled the Marvel Universe approach to filmmaking way more than a lot of people seem to be comfortable talking about. Because at the end of the day, this is IP that depends on pre-existing understanding of the material. And I know some people say, oh, I didn't know anything about the books, and I thought it was... I'm sorry, I refuse to believe that the way they refer offhandedly to all this shit does not clank off the ear of somebody who has no context for it. And then, of course, you have the fact that the most fundamental fact, the thing that undermines all those Marvel movies at the base, is that they don't tell a complete story. It's literally an ad for the next movies.
This is only the beginning.
The only thing that's insulting is that instead of doing the Lord of the Rings deal where they shoot the whole thing simultaneously and then chop it up, they shot one and then said, well, we'll see if they make another. We'll see if you guys like it enough to make another one. And then everyone's like, oh God, bro, we'll go see it. Oh, we have to go see it. And it's like, okay, we'll make another one. I'm kind of a truther on that. I deeply believe that when they shot this Dune movie, they shot a lot more fucking footage. They shot a lot more stuff from a completed second script, and that when they get together to shoot the second one, it's going to be stuff that they needed to build out that they didn't already have built and ready, because it would just be an insanely uneconomic move to tear down that whole production and then put it back up when you know you're going to make another one. And I am largely turned off by the muted color palette of the modern blockbuster that is used increasingly to symbolize seriousness in a way that is very unimaginative to me. Oh, we can't make it too colorful. People won't know it's serious. So I thought it was fine, and there were some great visuals in there, and Villeneuve is very good with scale, and he's able to give you the scale of Herbert's world in a way that I think is something that I think that's what people mostly are responding to. But beyond that, it just did not hold me as an individual thing. If I kept finding how, I was giving it more honestly than I needed to, than I should have, because of my invested connection to the stuff, to the IP, really. And then there's some things that I think generally really do not work. I feel the entire conception of the Harkonnens, to me, smacks of just the anxiety of influence. Like, the characters in the book are these outlandish villains. And Lynch, of course, makes them outlandish villains in his movie. But because Villeneuve has seen the Lynch movie, and his movie is, by necessity, a response to the Lynch movie, well, he can't make the Harkonnens big, larger-than-life cartoons. They have to make them menacing. Oh, they're scary because they're quiet. These are supposed to be the bad guys in the story. You barely see them. They make no real impression. This undermines the dramatic tension. Why am I rooting for the Atreides over the Harkonnens? Because they're less sticky? I will say that the best single moment in the movie, and many have pointed this out, is the scene on Salunda Secundus, or whatever it's called, with the Sardaukar, with the throat-singing guy, with the mass sacrifice. That is a perfect bit of world building. You don't have to set it up. You don't explain anything. You're like, yeah, this is a planet where they train child soldiers, basically, to turn them into Uruk-hai. They're making orcs, folks. On Salunda Secundus, they're making orcs. And what would it mean to make an orc like that? You would need a religious, ritualized existence to impose the values. So that's how you get the throat-singing guy. Great. Not enough of it. I will, of course, keep watching that garbage. But I have to say that it really did feel like a lot of people were wishing that movie to be more than it was. And to be more different than other blockbuster fare than it was, because they want something with some vitamins in it. I haven't seen the card counter yet. There's a million great movies I haven't seen yet. And it's like, because I've just got a dick. I haven't seen Benedetta yet, for God's sakes. Maybe, I think I'm hoping after the holiday, whatever's still in theaters and hasn't been eaten up by Spider-Man, I will make an effort to knock out some of these damn movies. Somebody says the Harkonnens aren't in it that much up to that point when the first movie ends. Well, once again, that's a problem narratively with ending it there. And also, that means it's more imperative to beef them up. You don't have to give them more plot-wise to do, but you need to make them more indelible with the time that they have, the precious screen time they have.